It's Thursday night. We're live. I'm here. You're beautiful. It must mean it's time for GotBot Goes live. Of course, I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka God. As always, please, I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. And while you are at it, light them up, baby. Hit the notification bell. It helps me out a ton and lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or, of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. I'm going to tell you now, I'm not going to be wasting a lot of time here tonight. We have a ton of news. We have news coming out of Brand Licensing Expo, Europe Expo. We have news coming out of Shanghai Wonder Festival 2023. We have news coming out of New York Toy Fair 2023, besides everything that Takara showed, besides everything that Hasbro showed, and besides news from YOLOPARK, threezero, another wave of those little chibi plushies. I mean, there's a ton that came out this week. Man, oh man, they are looking forward, I gotta believe, toward the holiday buying season. And that's not to mention everybody's pre-orders and stuff. We're going to talk about Ross a little bit in the United States. We're going to talk about Toys R Us a little bit in the United States. We're going to, talk about a lot of stuff. We do have a very small unboxing this week, very small one. But let's kind of get things set up so that we can get into it. It is going to be a jam-packed show. Okay, not that. Hold on. I got to do that. And got to do this. And bear with me here. Hope you guys are having a tremendous week. I had a very busy day myself, and tomorrow promises to be just as busy. Luckily, here in Canada, this is our Thanksgiving weekend, so it's a long weekend for us. Last weekend was a long weekend for the Day of Truth and Reconciliation. This weekend coming up is our Thanksgiving, so I'm going to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving now. If you're in the U.S., of course, this is wildly early for you, but still the sentiment counts. Carry my happy Thanksgiving forward to yours later in November. Let's see. Hey, Waspinator. Hey, Ultra Megatronus. Hey, Warpig Blue. Hate using your cell to chat. I feel you, man. Hey, Mike. Hey, Triple R. Hey, Lee Bird. Joel. I know we'll get there, but I would want the Starscream, Shockwave. What? Starscream and Shockwave? Wait. You said Ross. Yes, I did say Ross. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. Hey, Marcus, Manitoba. If you're driving, buddy, be safe out there on the road. You know how we like you to be safe. Okay, so we're going to get into it because I don't want to waste time, and there's so much to cover. First, let's kind of get this cleared out of the way because it's the least exciting of all the stuff. Brand Licensing Europe Expo. So they showed some of the Earthspark gameplay that's using the engine of another game, and I can't remember which one it is. We've seen the Earthspark gameplay. It was nothing really new there. A lot of the product that was shown, though, was Earthspark related, right down to backpacks. However, I talked about some fashion a couple of weeks ago and a crossover with Bobby someone. I don't know fashion. But all of the Transformers themed clothing that he designed, or they designed, the company designed, was also on display. Naturally, the intent of this is to showcase things that have been licensed, as well as to hear pitches from new licensees seeking to use Transformers, in this case, as part of their product line. So a lot of Transformers-related products coming out of Brand Expo, not so much Transformers themselves, if that makes sense. What else do we have here? The Takara Novocaine is going to be released sooner rather than later. We know that that's really the freezer with a new battle-damaged head and a little bit of a different paint scheme. Their version, however, of Studio Series Optimus Prime from Rise of the Beast is not a buzzworthy Bumblebee, Target, or in Canada, Toys R Us exclusive. It is instead just a mainline retail offering. So if you use any of the well-known Asian retailers, then you can probably get that Studio Series Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime if you want it and don't have access to the buzzworthy Bumblebee exclusivity in your area, as a lot of people do. I even think here in my own province, we have one Toys R Us for the entire province, which means the mainland part of Labrador has none, and the island part, Newfoundland, has one, and it's way on the east coast. So if you live in central or north or west coast, you wouldn't be able to get it. So I like that this is an option for other fans that would like to have that primal or prime, not primal, prime. Sorry, the Studio Series Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. What else I want to cover here? Beast Wars Super Deformed figurines by Toy Tour. Not much that I know here. There are two versions of Rhinox, one with kind of baring teeth and another with a stoic, serious face. There's a couple of versions of Beast Wars Megatron, a couple of different faces again. Rat Trap, Waspinator, Cheetor, and Black Arachnia. So there's quite a few being offered, of course, because they're super deformed. It means they got little tiny bodies and kind of bigger heads. I'm not sure how articulated they are. They seem like they're probably pretty well articulated, but I could be wrong about that. I didn't look at it super closely. If you're interested in what Toy Tour, Toytour, is doing with super deformed Beast Wars, check it out. Maybe it will be up your alley. Not at mine, but it might be up yours. Retro 40th anniversary G1 cartoon colored Soundwave and Blaster. Blaster looks, well, like the cartoon, right down to the red dots just above his foot, kind of on his ankle. There are two red dots. I actually painted them in on the Kingdom one. This one has the red dots. All of the gray and black is where it should be. All of the red is where it should be. Even his chest is exactly as it should be based on the animation. His head is still the toy accurate head, but it's painted for G1 animation accuracy. He comes with Steel Jaw, also animation accurate. And then we have a G1 Soundwave, of course, done in animation accurate colors. His colors are a lot more matte. Like, they're more, yeah, they're a lot more matte colors than I think a lot of people would expect from a G1 Soundwave, but they still look good. I feel like the head really particularly pops on him, as does the chest. And of course, we have a animation accurate Laserbeak and Ravage, also G1. Word is both of these sets will retail for $45 US. So here in Canada, I don't know, that'll probably be $69 maybe. Fun fact, the last time we had a Soundwave reissue, the retro Soundwave that came out with, I guess it was Buzzsaw. We never got it here first nor last, never ever saw it. So it'll be interesting to see if the animation accurate ones make it here or not. So far, we've done pretty well with the animation accurate ones, and they've actually sold pretty good. I guess cartoon is king. What can I say? Sorry, input. These look good. These look good. Right? Let's go all the way over to, yeah, here. The 4 foot or 5 foot, if you go to the top of the shoulders, W Resources or Lewin Resources Metroplex. This thing is gigantic. It's absurdly gigantic. Now, let's just get this straight. The asking price apparently is going to be $510, which translates here in Canada to about $699. Presumably plus tax, and I got to think the shipping is going to be monstrous on something that large. But if we forget about the taxes and forget about the shipping for a minute, and just look at the actual release, $510 for a 4 foot to the head, 5 foot to the top of the shoulders Metroplex is wildly impressive. That's an excellent price. However, the existence of this, let's be realistic here, is absurd. I think it's cool. I think it belongs in a museum, but I don't believe for 1 second it belongs in anybody's house. I don't understand the practicality of it. I don't see how you would handle it, how you would maneuver it, how you would use it. I can't imagine. Maybe if you have like a mansion or something, you could set it up in base mode and put other characters all over it or something. In robot mode, I would be very concerned that a ratchet or a hinge or something would give out and that thing would topple over. I can only imagine if it fell on a child or fell on a pet. Like, I think it's cool, but this is definitely one of those cases of I look at it and think just because they can do this, I don't know if they should have done this. Nevertheless, if for some baffling reason you're like, yeah, I got the space and I want to have a 5-foot Metroplex that I'm never going to be able to really transform, because imagine trying to handle that thing for $510 US, and you're willing to pay whatever the taxes are and whatever the shipping is, because I've heard that this is going to be released and shipped in parts. I don't know if that's true either, but I think the price is almost unbelievable for what it is, but I still think it really belongs in a museum. If for no other reason, I just don't think it's practical in someone's private household. But, you know, what do I know? You do you. If you got the space for that, you go for it. Personally, I'm not interested in giving up a seat on the sofa or one of my chairs so that that thing can sit down, because there's no way I would be comfortable leaving it stood up. I just wouldn't. And I know I don't have the space to splay it out. So, you know, it is what it is, but maybe you do. Maybe you do. I think it's amazing. I just don't think it's realistic or practical. Let's go up a little bit and see what you guys are saying here. Just a bit. Well in advance, happy Turkey Day. Enjoy the pumpkin pie. Well, that's the thing. Like here, it's the second Sunday in or second Monday, I think it is, in October. As we're for you guys, I think it's like the third Thursday of November. So yeah, quite different. And there's another country, I can't remember which one it is now, that has it on like November the 4th or something. So they have it in between. Different countries have them different times. But the sentiment and the idea holds true, to be thankful for what you have and who you have. And our season is shorter too. That's true. That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That makes perfect sense, actually. I always have to use cell phone to chat. I'm in the truck. I find seeing anything on the cell phone almost Herculean. I find it really, really difficult. Anybody who has seen me post stuff knows how many typos I do. It's because I can't see it. It's too tiny. Hey, no. I'm not going to read that, because if I read that, Blue Starscream Wife is going to jump down my throat and yours. Oral surgery. Oh, look. I got to impact the lower wisdom tooth down here that I'm going to have to get out, because the bottom of it is starting to develop a cavity. I'm not looking forward to that. I feel like I'm going to be like, remember the David After Dentist video with that kid? Chad Vader done a parody of it. I feel like I'm going to be like that after I get this done, because apparently they're going to give me the loopy stuff for it. I don't know when that's going to be, sometime in the new year. Don't be surprised if we miss a show because of it, or if I have to alter a show because of it or something. I'd hate to miss one. We've never missed one. They've been changed. They've been altered. Sometimes the Wednesdays or something, but we've never missed one. Oh, Dragonfly, was you who had it done? Oh, man. Yeah, that's brutal. If you disappear, it's because you're... Listen, man, you always... Listen, if the better half calls your buddy, you take it. Don't worry about us. I understand. If only we got a Bluetooth transformer... What? Transforming sound working speaker of Blaster and Soundwave. I mean, device label Soundwave plays music and stuff, so that already exists. Yeah, the shipping's gonna be like a house price. See that? Yeah, that Metroplex needs its own room. Yeah, you're right. It really kind of does. That Metroplex, including his shoulders, is taller than your grandma. You know what? It would be taller than my grandma too. It'd be taller than very first episode we did. Starscream Wife and our friend Jonelle appeared on the very first show. That Metroplex would be taller than Jonelle. Then we could measure things in Metroplexes. Yeah, sometimes we measure things in Jonelle's, like something's 2 Jonelle's high. She hates it, by the way. Put it in your car and drive the... I don't know what HOV lane is. I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. I'm 5... What? I'm 5'2", tall, almost as tall as me. Yeah, like, how would you handle that? Just imagine trying to transform the leg. Think of handling a Titan and how cumbersome and lummoxy that can be. Imagine this. Anybody who has Unicron. Unicron is a dwarf. He's a little speck of nothing compared to this. And that thing takes an hour to transform. Like, it's cool to see, but I in no way, shape, or form would ever want it. If I win the lotto, I'm going to buy one of those Metroplexes and ship it to you. You do it, buddy, and if you do it, I will review it. I will 100% review it.
But it ain't staying here.
It ain't gonna ship back to where are you? Kentucky? Is that where it would come from? There's a video of that Metroplex. I would like to see it. I haven't seen no video of that Metroplex. I have seen a video of a similar one, the Like Toys one, I do believe, because that is just dudes 3D printed. And he is popping sweat and popping bullets and stuff on trying to transform that thing. It's pretty miraculous. But like, again, I looked at that and I'm like, man, like, look how hard this is on him. And I immediately thought about this other one. Now, I'm not saying there's not a video out on this other one. There probably is. I haven't seen it. But seeing what that guy went through and then seeing this one, I'm like, man, you can keep it. I got tired just watching it. High occupancy vehicle. I don't know what that is, but okay. We don't have stuff like that here. Like, our biggest road is 4 lanes. It should be bigger, but it's not. Oh yeah, we don't have that. We don't have that stuff here, Anthony. Like the HOV, the carpool lane stuff. We don't have carpool lanes. It's not a thing here. Another that Metroplex, another divorceplex, right? It is what it is. Okay, moving on. Legacy Silverbolt. Let's talk about Silverbolt for a minute. So I always enjoyed the original Beast Force Silverbolt. I think he's great. And the new one seems to have similar arms, though it will definitely have wrists and wrist articulation. The body looks pretty much the same, though the sides are definitely different. I'm hoping that where this one, the hips come together down here, I'm hoping that on the new one that you don't have to do that. The feet on the new one and the lower legs definitely have more painted detail and stuff than this. And we do have an ankle tilt. So this is really good and quite well articulated for Deluxe. The new one is, I'm pretty sure, Voyager. Here's the big advantage of the new one over this one. This huge backpack could not really go down on this guy, and the wings are always like this rather than being able to go down. The new one has wings that remind me more of Air Razor or Pterosaur, like those sort of wings, which I like. So I love this, but I do think that the new one is an improvement. I really do. Is there anything wrong if you choose to keep the original Silverbolt? Absolutely not. But as much as I've always sort of liked that one, I was never totally happy with it because of that backpack. And it was all done for one of these, foolish gimmicks where his wings flap or some nonsense like that. That, like, I don't, you know me, I'm not a gimmick guy. To me, that only hurt it. This could have been definitely put down further, but is it? Yeah, like when you pull or push this, like the wings move or something. Not for me. I don't like gimmicks. You know that, right? But I do think that the new Silverbolt looks great, as does the MP Rhinox. Looks like he jumped off of the page. I'm not a Masterpiece guy, but undoubtedly, when you compare to the Generations, the Kingdom, the Beast Wars 2-pack Rhinox, all of those compared to the MP is obviously better. The pieces that are on his thighs and hips look like the animation. Even the texturing on his skin in Rhino mode looks like the animation with sort of a slickness to it. The head is the perfect Rhinox head sculpt. Same with the lower legs and the feet. I mean, they've always sort of struggled to capture that, but they've captured it perfectly there. I would venture to say that Rhinox is one of the best looking masterpieces they've ever done. Right up there with Black Arachnia, who looks gorgeous, and I would say Beast Wars Megatron. I would say those are probably the top 3 official MPs that I've seen. Really, really, really special and really, really, really good looking. You know what? We're probably at some point going to do like a top 10 masterpiece Transformers or something at some point. I don't know if we've done that one. I'll have to double check. Earthspark reveals Earthspark combiners. We talked about this a while ago. And I was like, I don't know what they could have. And indeed, they're kind of like the Crash combiners from RID. But as where both of those individually were sort of trash, these seem to have decent articulation. Not perfect, but definitely passable. One set will include Bumblebee and Mo Malto. And Mo is going to be basically in what looks like Apex armor, right? It's some sort of an exosuit, but it looks to have ball joints at the shoulders and stuff for full movement. It looks to have hinges at the elbows. There might be a bicep swivel, though I'm not sure. There's definitely knees. I think that the hips are able to move. So like, I don't think you got fancy stuff like ankle tilt, but I think it's pretty acceptable. Again, you sort of mash them together so that one is a shirt and one is pants, basically, right? The other pack will have Twitch and Robbie. I think because of maybe a blaster accessory. I think one of Robbie's arms is somewhat limited compared to the other one. But besides for that one limited arm, I think Robbie probably has slightly better articulation. This is a great way to get a functional version of Mo and Robbie. I couldn't really care about the Twitch or the B. I have a Twitch and I don't care about the B. But I'd like the two Earthlings, I suppose. So you never know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know, exosuits, I suppose. Reasonable articulation. I don't know. I call the win. Also revealed for Earthspark was a role play, like Nerf style, Nerf-ish, if you will, cyber sleeve blaster, where you put on like one of Mo or Robbie's cyber sleeves on your hand, and I think there's 3 foam arrows that you're able to like fire out. Right. So there you are. You have your cyber sleeve. I guess if you want your Nerf on your hand. Because that's what it looks like. I'm assuming it's Nerf, right? Or a derivative of Nerf, right? And I'm going to cover this and then check in with you guys. More Art Studio. Man, oh man, oh man. They're putting out, and they have artists that are pumping out Transformers content. So, more Art Studio. This time they're doing 2 versions of Starscream by Peter David. A $50 18 by 24 inch. 75 of them will be numbered. I think there's 300 in total. Or a $36 12 by 16 inch. That one is 50 and has 50 numbered. Or there's also an 18 by 24 Starscream being done by Bill McConkey. I think that's how I say it, McConkey. I mean, cool. That's a whole bunch of Starscream paintings. The one by McConkey is... Okay, so the first one's by Peter David. It's basically Coronation Starscream, and like Megatron's head is at his feet. The other one is sort of a bust version of Starscream, and he's holding Megatron in his Walther P-38 mode, right? So that's those. But that's not all from More Studio. I got to find it now, because as I was going through, I'm like, man, even more from More Studio? Holy moly. Let me just find it, because I get that out of the way now. Mark it off as done. Yeah. To accompany Soundwave, they also have, to accompany Starscream, they also have Soundwave and Blaster prints, 60 pieces. And there's a Blaster and Perceptor piece of artwork that was done by Ken Christiansen. I don't know. I've seen the name before, but I have no idea how to say his last name. I think he's an IDW artist or something. He, I believe, is also doing versions of the box art from the Prime Wars trilogy. So like Combiner Wars and Titans Return and all of that stuff. The ones, oh man, pardon me, guys. The ones that are being done, and you might remember some of this artwork, maybe you don't, I don't know, but the ones that are being done, and I think they're holographic prints too, by the way. They're kind of like remember the Prime Wars collector cards and the art that was on that was the box art? Well, I think that this is actual like holographic prints blown up of those. It'll be Optimus Prime, Megatron, Wheeljack. In fact, the Combiner Wars Wheeljack to be specific. Hot Rod, Coronation Starscream, Jet Starscream, so Starscream in his alt mode, Thundercracker, Skywarp. In fact, specifically, this is the Generations Legend Skywarp, the one that was used for Acid Storm, and it was used for Starscream, and it was used for Thundercracker. Blaster Soundwave, I think it's the Titans Return Soundwave, if I'm not mistaken. Combiner Wars Shockwave, the Little Legends one. Combiner War Cyclonus, Combiner War Sunstreaker, the Constructicons, and Devastator. Combiner Wars Constructicons and Devastator. And finally, Blur. I think it's the Titans Return Blur, if I'm not mistaken. Let's check in with you guys before I keep going there. Georgia. Oh, okay, Georgia. I wouldn't want it back because it would be a gift and would be... there you go, Sam? Triple R said he wouldn't want it back because it would be a gift and he'd be insulted if he got it back.
I didn't say we had to send it back. I just said it wasn't staying in here.
It could go in the closet. She'd never know. It's your wedding anniversary today. Well, happy anniversary to you and your wife. Skybite wife. Oh, I like that. Skybite wife. Does she do poetry? Does she do haikus? If not, get her to do a haiku. Got you some nice whiskey. Well, I hope you enjoyed. Fun fact. I'm really not, and I never was much of a drinker at all. Like I can't do liquor. If it's not beer, then I don't drink it. It's as simple as that. I tried other stuff and it burns going down for me. But you know what? If you like it and she was kind enough to give it to you, you know what? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. You enjoy it in good health. With all the best wishes that I can send to you and her. Many happy more anniversaries. Never buy a Titan unless it's under a penny price. Okay. Hey, mercenary. Divoplex, right? I am not a fan of gimmicks either. I'm with you, Jay. Hey, Caldio. Hey, Sean. I don't think that they developed a Sorry Sun deck. I could be wrong about it, but not to my knowledge. But you know what? I've always wanted one. I always want to know exactly what she would have ended up evolving into. She's actually surprisingly a really great dynamic character. There was a lot more I think that could have gotten properly explored there. Let's see. Kind of cool to see the Transformers Energon Powerlinks gimmick come back with Earthspark Combiners. Yeah, I guess it's like a Powerlinks gimmick too. Yeah, good point, Waspinator. Good point. I didn't even think of that one back all that way. But see, I forget it exists. I forget Powerlinks was a thing, right? Barely articulated. They did. Okay. So they did do a Sun deck, but I don't remember it. But I don't pretend to know everything about animated's line anyway. Chicken nuggets are great. Your dog dismembered your Combiner Wars Wheeljack. I gotta say, I've always got Transformers on the floor. I mean, they're down to the floor behind me here. You guys, if you watched my shorts, then you saw the way my shelving and stuff goes. Tessa doesn't touch any of it. None of it. She's never chewed it. She's never sniffed it. She's never gone to it. And before her, my cat Mo. Mo didn't touch any of it. I've been very lucky in that regard. The Metroplex would be like trying to hide a body. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And Blue says he keeps his mouth away from alcohol. Not a bad choice, buddy. Not a bad choice. I used to play Earth Wars way back when, but it got to a point where I was going to have to advance. I was going to have to spend money, and I wasn't doing that. It was all right for what it was. I mean, you got to like the games that have the, I guess you got to like that team combat style. And I tell you, I never, ever, ever got anything above a 1-star character. Nothing. I used to watch Sea Spray, Clint. A lot of people know Clint. Shout out to Clint. And Clint would get like, I got a 3-star, I got a 4-star. It's like, man, wow, I didn't get any of that. So it is what it is. Speaking of Earthspark Deluxe, Nightshade and Grimlock out in the US. I have heard that Nightshade and Grimlock are on Amazon.ca as well. But I haven't seen them in store here or anything like that. I'm not in for the Grimlock. I don't need it. But give me Nightshade. Looks gorgeous. I think that they look phenomenal. Plus, I love the idea of an owl. We don't have enough owls. Just going to say, we do not have enough owls. Super 7 showed off their Halloween Optimus Prime. Just their normal little Super 7. Except this is Optimus Prime really done in orange. He has black hands, a black head, basically. His windows on his chest are black and his lower legs are black. And I think the lights on his pelvis that are usually yellow, I think they're black. Outside of that, the rest of the dude is green. Not green, orange. I mean, it's black and orange, right? It's very Halloween-y if you're into the Super 7 stuff. As well, yeah, he's part of the 3.75 inch line as well. Let me make sure. We had some other Super 7 stuff. Yeah, I think it's the Shogun things, where like they're on wheels and they're really tall, they're really expensive, and their chest opens. We saw some of them. That's coming out of Shanghai Wonder Festival. We also saw Shanghai Wonder Festival, the Super 7 offerings where like you could take the front off and like see all the robot inner workings inside. I don't know how articulated they are. It looks like maybe shoulders, maybe hips a little bit, but nothing major. I don't. Super 7 is much like Funko Pops to me. I don't understand why they exist. I don't understand who it appeals to. But if it appeals to you, cool. I guess I'm an articulation junkie, and that's why I don't get it. I don't have to get it. If you do and you want it, cool. We'll talk about Wonder Festival a little bit more in just a little bit. The Mochi Bots. These were a set of plush, small, chibi plush robots. The first wave had Optimus Prime, Shattered Glass, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Cliff Jumper. Well, they have unveiled a wave 2 that will have Shattered Glass Megatron, regular Megatron, and Starscream Thundercracker and Skywarp, all of the Seekers. So if you're into collecting plushies and Transformers, I don't know, you got 2 waves of these, like chibi super deformed, well, not even super deformed, just the chibi style, Mochi Bots. So get them, I guess, if you want them. And Transformers 1. Transformers 1, not much news there. I just wanted to throw out the idea that Transformers 1 is now getting a bunch of trademarks and stuff taken care of because, to be quite frank, they have to, right? They're moving forward with this project. In order to move forward with this project, well, you got to make sure that you got all the legalities tied up. I'm going to check in with you guys, and then we'll go on again. Let's see. I do have a very good dog. She is a very I mean, I loved my first dog, Dusty, many years ago, but I've even said Starscream wife, like, I love both. I love them differently. Tessa's smarter. She's just, her breed is just, she's a very intelligent animal. And you can look in her eyes a lot of times and tell that like the gears are working. She's thinking, she's figuring stuff out. You can see it, right? I played Forged Fight months ago. Never played Forged Fight. I'm not really much of a mobile gamer. Like the only mobile game I've ever played is Earth Wars. That's it. Yeah, so I like Nightshade, but I would want a leader class owl Decepticon as they call to this Sly Cooper. What? Alchemy Clockwork. Again, Blue, I'm just going to say, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who that is. Another reference that I don't know what you're talking about. Can you be an articulation junkie and love G1? Yeah, you love the updates. You're getting the stuff that you always wanted when you were 5. What did you miss? Half the news. I'm doing all right, Heathen. Doing all right. We're getting through it. Rise of the Beast Battle Master Air Razor. Out in the US, she turns from bird to some sort of a weapon thing. I don't know. I'm not impressed by it. It's a neat looking bird, I suppose. Ultra Magnus is out in Canada. The Studio Series Ultra Magnus apparently out in Canada, so I hear. Haven't seen it myself. We saw more Thundertron images coming from Mark Marr, and like a couple of little details, nothing major there. The biggest thing that he kind of alluded to is that they developed space barnacles on him, but the way that they turned out, Mark didn't like it, so they scrapped the idea, and instead they gave him his peg leg and some battle damage. I still look at it, and I don't see battle damage in the pictures. I guess you have to have it up close in order to see it a bit better. I'll say this, though. The more I look at the Thundertron mold, the more I think, man, I feel like there's a lot. It's not the same mold, for the record. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like there's a lot of design cues and ideas that relate back to the Titans Return Alpha Trion / Lio Convoy that they did back then. The one that you could use as Shattered Glass Alpha Trion, right? The one that turned into the line and the ship. This obviously is not that. but certainly around the shoulders and the chest and whatnot, I feel like there's a lot of similar design elements to that. Velocitron Speedia 500. If you live in the US, start checking your Ross stores. They're showing up there for like $7.99, $8.99 for. I have so far seen pictures of, because of course I don't live in the States, so we don't have Ross, but I've seen in-hand pictures of Cosmos. I've seen in-hand pictures of Burnout, Blur, and Drag Strip or Shadow Strip and Crasher, as well as Scourge. That's the ones that I've seen so far, the RID Scourge. So I don't know, start checking. I have not seen a Galaxy Shuttle yet, but I wouldn't be shocked if they do show up there. Time will tell, I suppose. Time will tell. Get rid of that. And YOLOPARK, they showed off their Cheetor. We're going to talk more about YOLOPARK in a bit too, but I'll get this one out of the way. They showed off their Cheetor. They said color sample, but I've got a funny feeling it's just a hand-painted sample. I do like the shade of the orangey yellow that they use, kind of a school busy color, rather than a straight-on orange. I loved all the speckled detailing. I feel like that this looks like a better painted version of the Studio Series. Like if you know what the Studio Series robot looks like, take that, paint it way better, and then I think you kind of got what this robot looks like from YOLOPARK. This is the AMK series, so it's their easy to put together one, right? But if you're in for Rise of the Beast Cheetor, he looks great. And MPG Saison, we've seen images. He looks really super duper accurate. Again, part of him comes off and becomes like a heel spur or something like that when we get the legs of Raiden. But for himself, I feel like he's one of the stronger of the train bots, and I feel like there's not as much. There's still junk hanging off of him, but I don't feel like it's quite as much as the other ones. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I don't think so. Oh, and if you're interested, by the way, one more Earthspark note. The Japanese dub of Earthspark is now started, and I believe the first episode is actually on Takara Tomi's YouTube channel. So if you want to know what Earthspark is like in Japanese, check that out, I guess. Let's check in with you guys here a bit. Let's go down here a little bit. Hey, Grimlock on, if I didn't say to you already, buddy. YouTube big game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Space Barnacles are an animated callback. Thundertron wasn't in. I mean, Space Barnacles could be, but Thundertron wasn't in animated. I suppose they could be a callback to it, but anyway. It's irrelevant because it's not happening. Ultra Magnus is my figure of the year, hands down. If you say so, Jay. I mean, I'm not getting it. It's if I can review it, cool. I got nothing against it at all. At all. I can't speak to it. I think it's very popular. Like I said, I've seen reviews. I think its transformation is logical. I think it looks fine. I think he's really tiny for a commander class. I'd have to know what the mass is. I'm hoping he's really dense. He needs to be at least 650 grams. If he's not that, then he's not commander class and he shouldn't have been sold as it. But I'm not even going to get into it because I really don't have a dog in that fight. And I'm not going to have a dog in that fight. Marcus is crying about Crasher. Grimlock God says he got the Troop Builder set. It's okay. Well, I mean, if you like the molds, then the Troop Builder set is fine. If you don't like the molds, then the Troop Builder set isn't good. I do know the Troop Builder set is here. I don't have it because, quite frankly, I just don't have the scratch right now to get it. It's $115 here for one set. I mean, I just don't have it right now. Paid 100 UK for Shadow Strip and Crasher. Yeah, you shouldn't have done that, man. That's nuts. I wouldn't do that. I never want anything bad enough. I hope you're happy with them is all I can say. I didn't like paying retail for Crasher. I thought that was double what she should be. She's fine, $20 figure. Simple as that. Never saw Scourge here. No, I never saw Scourge either. Magnus is really heavy, solid all the way around. I mean, maybe he is. Maybe he is. Like I said, it's not for me. It's not for me. I held the Commander Armada Prime box in my hand, and it felt super light to me. Well, you got to remember, too, Maximal 10, that the boxes are very deceptive because that Armada one, when you take it out, it's like a ton of cardboard on the top and a ton of cardboard on the bottom. And, like, he's just in truck mode, like, in the middle. Like, it is light. They're very deceptive. The new Magnus is the definitive to me. I'm quite impressed by what Hasbro managed to pull off in the design. And like, that's fine. Like I said, for me, my definitive is the Combiner Wars one because of everything that I've done to it, right? But like, I get it. I understand why a lot of people would call this one the definitive, even when it's a little bit at a scale, because it is at a scale. Let's be realistic. It certainly is bigger than it should be, but I still think it fits. Like when I see it displayed with others, I'm like, yeah, that looks right for Magnus. It makes sense. So while it's at a scale based on the Sunbow chart, I think it makes logical sense for sure. I mean, I don't, from what I hear, he didn't say MP Magnus or 86 Magnus. I don't, what do you guys say? I don't know either. I've never held either. I've never reviewed either. I don't want either. I've heard that the 86 has better articulation. I've heard that the 86 has a better transformation. So make of that what you will. I can believe it because the 86 Grimlock is infinitely better than the MP Grimlock. Infinitely better. So I could totally believe it for Ultra Magnus too. I'm okay with Combiner Wars, says Marcus. Jay says 86 is better. Had the MP. It's messy and not very well articulated. So there you go. Velocitron Wave 1 was reduced to next to nothing here about 6 months ago. Oh, yeah. No idea about the MP Magnus. I only have MP. Yeah, I don't know much about MP stuff either. I saw 2 shadow strips on shelves and passed on them. I saw 1 crasher on shelves. Yeah, I saw 1 crasher. I saw 3 or 4 shadow strips. I didn't want it. But I only saw the 1 crasher as well. And they never restocked. So it is what it is, right? Okay. We're going to finish off. Yeah, we're going to finish off the news this time. So buckle up because we're going to go kind of breakneck. The newest Beast Wars versus 2-pack with Rhinox and Scorponok in it. We've got better images now. The Rhinox is certainly a deeper brown. I like that when you transform him to the Rhino, the shoulder pieces don't have those like green hinges. They're painted brown. On his chest where the teeth are, he actually has pink for gums in around, as he should have. The green is a deeper, richer green. He has his maximal symbols on his head. The gold is a deeper gold. Yes, the Rhinox looks way better. Still not as good as the MP, but looks way better. The Scorponok is a little more negligible. His head is blue. The Scorpion head is kind of a blue. The visor is now yellow instead of gold. The body grays are a little more contrasting. They're a little different than the Kingdom one. The lower legs on the Kingdom one are pretty much purple with gold highlight on the front. These are mostly gray with the like main gold going down the middle, and then the little starts coming off the side that are painted gold on the Kingdom are painted purple on this one. So the Scorponok, my point is the Scorponok is a little more toned down. He's made more accurate, but it's not as dramatic of a change as it is for Rhinox. Very much a big change. I do, however, really like that the Rhino mode just has a normal eye instead of the weird red eye that the Kingdom one has. I don't like that. I don't know why they would do the red eye thing. Yeah. And yeah. Marvel Sunbow Archive. We know that they're always putting up storyboards and whatnot. Well, they just added a whole bunch. An unproduced pilot. Storyboards for More Than Meets the Eyes, Part 2 and 3. Transport to Oblivion. Roll for It. An unproduced commercial. Ultimate Doom Part 3. The Immobilizer. Autobot Spike. The unproduced Season 2 intro. And an unproduced commercial bumper and more. So they added a ton of storyboards. If you're looking at storyboards to see what could have been, check out that archive, I guess. And you know, it is what it is, right? They got it there. Let's do Wonder Festival. let's do Wonder Festival. So Wonder Festival, Shanghai Wonder Festival 2023. YOLOPARK had a strong showing. So we already talked about Cheetor, right? Well, YOLOPARK also showed their G1 star screen, which was in grayscale, but it reminds me a lot of the MP Starscream. It's very kind of rounded and bubbly to me. I was like, I get what you're going for, but it's a little too bubbly for my taste. They showed their Last Night Optimus Prime. Both of those stand at 20 centimeters tall. They showed a color version of their Rise of the Beast Rhinox. There's a lot of bronze and silver on it, especially a lot of bronze, because the silver kind of ties with the gray a lot. But definitely a lot of bronze. The Starscream looks like the MP51, I think it is. What else do we have here? They also showed off a gray version of Rise of the Beast Mirage, Scourge, and Bumblebee movie Soundwave. Again, all of these were not colored. They were all in gray from YOLOPARK. They all look good, but I mean, you want to talk about a lot of product coming up from YOLOPARK. Buddy, oh buddy. And you know what? We're not done with YOLOPARK. That's what they showed off at Wonder Festival. But they showed that and more off at Toy Fair. In fact, some of that was gray at Wonder Festival, they actually had colored samples for later on. So yeah, G1 Starscream, Last Night Optimus Prime with his sword and shield, by the way. He's super, super detailed. Can't wait to see a painted copy of him. 20 centimeters, and then Rise of the Beast, Rhinox. We saw that last week in some pictures as a grayscale. Now with some color, certainly a fair amount of bronze on it. And then just to reiterate, the gray Rise of the Beast Mirage, again, a lot of molded detail in there, a ton. Scourge, who looks splendid, and Bumblebee movie, A Sound, a Wave. Let's see, there's that. I just want to make sure. We got that, and we got that. And yeah, okay, so continuing on with Wonder Festival here. We saw the Bumblebee Optimus Prime, the Rise of the Beast, Primal. Oh, yeah, these are by Trumpeter. Sorry. So we saw some 8 to 12 centimeter model kits for Bumblebee Optimus Prime, for Rise of the Beast Optimus Primal. These are pre-painted model kits. They're well articulated. They also showed off Acid Storm, Skywarp. Now, when I say Acid Storm and Skywarp, let's keep in mind that I mean the like Bumblebee movie Seeker body type, the one that like in Studio Series we've gotten the green thrust that I actually use as Liege Maximo and Starscream. So in that same sort of body type, we're getting an Acid Storm and a Skywarp. Then we're also getting a Drop Kick. And then we're getting a Bumblebee movie Wheeljack, a Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, and a Rise of the Beast Bumblebee. And they're doing this SD line, this like super deformed line with Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Ravage, Soundwave, all of that being Bumblebee movie designs. All of that by Trumpeter, if I'm not mistaken. So really, if you're interested in the stuff from Wonder Festival, you got to be into model kits, because that's a lot of what was shown between YOLOPARK and Trumpeter. That's a lot of what was shown for Transformers at Wonder Festival. If you're not into model kits, then Wonder Festival kind of didn't really have anything for you. Make of that what you will. Yeah, okay. We're almost there. Sorry I'm jumping around a lot here, guys, but there was a ton of news to try and cover this week, and I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Nope, and I'm not. All we have left now is Toy Fair. Then we're going to talk about the latest Beast Wars 2-pack, which, of course, is Ghost, Starscream, and Waspinator. And, of course, we'll talk about that Nemesis Bridge Crew 3-pack, right? So, hang tight. Toy Fair 2023 in New York. Robeson was there showing off a bunch of their stuff. It looks like they got the bases for their Optimus Prime and whatnot, but it doesn't look like he stands on the base for the G1 or for the Rise of the Beast. It looks like you sort of attach him. Maybe somehow I don't want to say he floats because he's not floating, but like Maybe it goes into their back or something to hold them upright. I wasn't crazy impressed with the base because I'm like, he's not even standing on it. It looks awkward. I don't really like this company anymore. I've seen, yeah, okay, you did your Optimus, whoop-de-doo. I'm not really impressed with it anymore. I've seen it, been there, done that. It's wildly overpriced, and I don't like the company they keep. So we're going to move on from that because I kind of don't care about Roboson anymore. We saw Optimus Prime, Megatron, and Bumblebee Funko Pops. I feel like they did these before. I'm sure I have an Optimus Prime Funko here somewhere that somebody gave me. I want to say Ultra Megatronus, but I could be wrong about that. And I could be wrong about all of it. But yeah, okay. Optimus, Bumblebee, Megatron, you know what I think of that. Toy Fair also showed off those Koto Bukiya anime girl statues, the Bumblebee and the Megatron, and maybe the Optimus were there. Again, I find that stuff uncomfortable. The Super 7 stuff I already talked about with the Shogun stuff and the ones where you could take off their chest and see the inner robot workings. threezero showed off their deluxe. So this is the not the highest end, but they're fairly big and highly detailed. They showed off their deluxe Bumblebee Optimus Prime, Bumblebee Soundwave, Bumblebee Ravage, Bumblebee, BRC. Her eyes, by the way, the Bumblebee RC from threezero, the deluxe Bumblebee RC. And her eyes are gorgeous. The detail in her eyes alone is worth the price of admission. Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime, Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. He's splendid. You can say what you want about the movie Megatron design. When they come out as premium statues, or as, in threezero's case, a premium figure, man, oh man, you add the paint to that and it's bonkers. And we saw a gray Rise of the Beast Optimus Primal, who looks splendid. Rise of the Beast Bumblebee. And the Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, I think, is going to be in the M Deluxe line. So a lot coming from threezero from the Deluxe line. Again, none of the threezero stuff transforms. Brilliant robots, looks gorgeous. None of it transforms at all. We saw the Tomy Build-A-Buddy there as well. There's parts, and you got like a little drill thing, and you put these, I guess they're like plastic nuts in the shoulders and the hips, and you make a robot, and you take them out, and you shift things a bit, and then you put it back in, and it makes a truck. I guess it's cool if you like using like a plastic drill thing. It's weird. It's a weird product, but whatever. I got nothing against it. I just think it's a weird product. And the very last thing, YOLOPARK. They showed off their IES Rise of the Beast Optimus Primal and Bumblebee movie Cybertron mode Optimus Prime. These look tremendous. They're higher end. We saw the Playmo, the now famous Playmo Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, and the Shockwave. We all know the detail that's gone into those. They have hyped those to high heaven. They also showed their AMK, that's their 12 centimeter mini line. So it's not just the AMK line, it's not the AMK Pro line, it's a line of minis. And this line of minis will include a number of G1 characters. I don't know if the list was there, I don't seem to have it. In the Pro line, we saw G1 Megatron, and in the just AMK line, not Pro. Pro has diecast, just the AMK line does not have diecast apparently. In the diecast one, G1 Megatron. In the no diecast one, Optimus Prime, Primal, and Bumblebee, Scourge, Rhinox, and that Cheetor again were shown. So coming out of both Wonder Festival and Toy Fair, you really have to be into licensed, third-party, non-transforming stuff and or model kits. If you're not into that stuff, then none of this product is going to speak to you. I see it all, and I think it looks beautiful. But I would never spend money on any of it myself because I want it to transform. I'm that guy, right? But I've seen some of this in hand before. Like I've seen a lot of the threezero stuff in hand in stores and like other people that I know and whatnot. And I mean, like, no picture, no video, no review does it justice to being in hand. I'll give credit where credit is due. But I know me. If I was to spend the money and get that and manipulate it and put in cool poses and review it, and have to say a 0 for transformation, that would take the wind out of my sails, because that's the sort of collector I am. You, of course, might be totally different. And if you are, you know what? That's cool. If this stuff speaks to you, man, there's a lot of it coming. And we had heard that the licensing was really going to get amped up and ramped up because of the 40th anniversary, right? And we already talked about the 40th anniversary Soundwave and Blaster. And then that leaves the last two pieces of news. The Beast Wars 2-pack with Waspinator and the essentially clear Earthrise Starscream. Very interesting set. I understand the set. I don't feel like, I know that there's a new deco on Waspinator. Certainly darker greens. The head has more detail on it for sure. But I still feel like the purple is a bit too purple, a bit too deep. There's another 2-pack, I believe, with a Waspinator in it that I think is colored better than this one is. I think they should have used that Waspinator and put it with this Starscream. Some people will want this Starscream because it's a ghost Starscream, right? It's a translucent Starscream. I don't care for the mold that much. I don't think I would want to import it. If it happens my way, cool, but I don't think I would want to import a ghost Starscream. I don't know, maybe Starscream wife would like it. Then, last but not least, we get to the Nemesis Bridge Crew 3-pack, and this has a lot of hype from a lot of people. There will be a very G1 animation accurate Earthrise, not Siege, Earthrise Megatron. I see it and I see the paint on it. I'm like, man, he has the red on the sides, the red on his elbows. His fusion cannon is there. He's pretty much all painted silver. The head sculpt is still wildly off. I look at the head and I'm like, that's not G1 Megatron. The Siege one is G1 Megatron. I look at the chest. I'm like, it's too squared off. It's not G1 Megatron. I don't feel like the Earthrise mold of Megatron works as well as the Siege for capturing the robot mode look of Megatron, at least from the chest up. Chest down, fine on the Earthrise. Chest up, I feel like the Siege captures it better. That's just me. But then we get to this guy, Shockwave. And the new Shockwave that's coming there, by the way, mine has in his hand, thanks to our buddy Dragonfly, a painted version of himself, right? It's a resin cast of the version that came in the Centurion pack. And the new one, not much different. The purple is still this dark. He still has the Decepticon logos on the two sides. The hose on that one, instead of being black, will be purple as well. But the legs here and the feet are going to be more of a light gray than a dark gray. Oh, and this piece that goes on the front of his blaster, I suppose. This piece here is also gray, as it should be. Shouldn't be purple. Should be gray. So a couple of gray changes. All of the extra bits and pieces that came with this guy, from what I could tell, don't come with that. So you basically transform him into like a blaster and then turn him over, and he's a space submarine or something. I don't know. Weird alt mode. Weird alt mode. I don't see a need to replace this guy. I don't think that there's enough of a change there for that, but this is a great Shockwave. I guess we'll see when it comes out. Then we get to this guy. And the 3-pack version, infinitely better. We have a little red detailing up on the arm. We have a bunch of red detailing in around the center of his shoulder piece. No yellow on the chest. All of this around the chest is gold. Coming out to the side is gold. This is more of a yellowy gold on here. That one has a richer gold. I hope that one does not turn yellow at the gray like this one does. A lot of people ask me at this point, how come yours hasn't turned yellow? It has. I painted the button up here. I have painted his legs. I have painted the two flaps underneath here that flip out. They're painted silver. But just to show you, well, back here, that's starting to turn green. That's starting to turn green. And he's not out in the sun. That has nothing to do with it. It's cheap plastic. This is starting to yellow. You can see the feet, oddly not, but you can see the difference of this gray to this gray or to this gray. This, by the way, these are the arms of the Siege That's why they haven't turned, because I actually took those off. However, I recently checked the arms of the Netflix one that I have put now on my Siege body, and that is in this closet. It is on the top. It is away from light. It is away from everything. And these foldy out pieces are turning yellow. So yeah, it's not an environmental thing. It's cheap crap plastic is what it was. I think that sound wave looks way better. Now, before you jump out and say, I have to get that 3-pack to get this sound wave, there's a couple of things to think about and a couple of options to consider. One, remember that the Siege one or the Legacy one is still fine. And there's even the Shockwave Labs kit that allows you to do an approximation of the cassette mode. Many people bought the Centurion pack, or like me, you have a resin cast of the cassette mode. If this guy turns into a ship, like if I was like, I'm done with this guy, he's too yellow, he's too junk, I'm just going to go back using the Siege one, fine, because I still have his alt mode here. And if I'm ever using it for stop motion or something, let's be realistic, I'm probably going to use this because it would scale with the guys, right? So I'm not angry about this guy. I'm certainly not angry about the 3-pack. Here's what I would say. If you're on the fence and wondering, do I get that 3-pack? Get it. All 3 molds are great. There's no reason not to if you're in for it. And yeah, let's do the trivia. And then I'll check in with you guys and we'll do the unboxing and get out of here. So the trivia tonight. I like this one. A couple of people in here will definitely know this one. One of the things that has become more prominent in recent Transformers lore is the idea of the precursor world with its 7 lights. And we know that each of these lights made a different universe. Cool. The kind of story there is the Primus Vanguard taking on the Spectres, the mysterious Spectres who cast shadows. And the whole idea is basically, hey, we got to get rid of shadows. The Spectres, however, are actually, dun dun dun, another species. What species are the Spectres? What do they evolve into later on? Do the Spectres from the precursor world become A, the Nebulons from Nebulos? Do they become B, the Quintessons from Quintessa? Do they become C, the Velgrax? Or do they become D, the Vok? So are they the Nebulons, the Quintessons, the Velgrax, or the Vok? Who do the Spectres become? A, B, C, or D? Oh, sorry about that shake, guys. I'm going to go up and see what you guys were saying. Oh, the other thing to consider with that sound wave too is don't forget that we have an upcoming leader class sound wave. The rumor is that, no, big rumor. This is not fact. Don't go and say, hey, GotBot said that this is what we're getting for a leader class sound wave, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm telling you what the rumors I've heard are. That it will be him along with 4 cassette bots. That's what I've heard. I don't know if there's any truth to it. And I have not heard what 4 cassette bots it could be. Personally, I would say, give me an overkill. Give me a slugfest. I don't know. Give me a wing thing. No, we got a wing thing. I don't know. Who else have we not at all gotten for him already? We got a wing thing in that 4-pack. And Rumble and Frenzy. We got a Rat Bat. We got a Laserbeak. Buzzsaw. We got Buzzsaw, I think. Did we get Buzzsaw? Maybe we didn't get Buzzsaw. And I don't know. Let's say like Hellback. Although I think we're getting a Hellback. Garbroil. Give us a Garbroil. Right? So like ones we haven't gotten yet. Okay, let's see here. Let's go up here just a little bit. About right here. 86 Magnus. For me, 86 Magnus is tops, then Siege Kingdom. I very much dislike Combiner Wars Magnus. Really? I can't imagine why. I really can't. I can't imagine why you'd like the Siege better. But okay, whatever works for you. I want both Shadow Strip and Crasher, but never seen them. I'm baffled how people didn't see them down there. But you know what though, Dragonfly? Like, I don't know if there's a Ross near you. Maybe you luck out there. I wish I had known. I could have gotten you a shadow strip like way back when they were first out, you know? Like there was a time I almost got a Velocitron Galaxy Shuttle for Grimlock Gone, but he was waiting for them to go on sale. They never went on sale, by the way. They just sold. And then they were gone, or they gave them I don't know what happened to them. But if I see another one, and if it's on sale, I'll let you know. Of course, I'll still get mine. Same for you. If I happen to see any more of the Crashers or the Shadow Strips by some magic, I'll let you know, Dragonfly. Don't forget the Con 3-pack and possessions. I didn't forget it. Without upgrades, Combiner Wars Magnus is very hollow. And I don't understand your point. I don't get your point, but okay. Oh really? Dick Buttkiss passed away? Wow. So that's the plan. I was originally debating getting rid of Kingdom Magnus once I had SS86, but I like it too much. That's fair. And with the upgrades, it costs more than SS86 Magnus. Mine didn't. Jay, can't agree with you there, buddy. I've done the math, and I spent a grand total of 120 for my Combiner Wars Magnus and both upgrade kits, which doesn't come close to about by the time it protects on the 150 that the 86 Magnus would be. So my math doesn't support that statement. Right now I'm debating on selling my RID Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus. Ooh. Popular ones to sell. I think you'd get a good price for them. I think for robot mode with armor installed, the Kingdom one is okay. Vehicle mode. I mean, everybody's going to have an opinion on this, and there's no real wrong answer. I know the one I like. I can't argue against Jay. I can't argue against Anthony, because all of them have an argument for and against them, right? I mean, like even the new 86 one, all you need is someone who has a set of poorly toleranced I'm going to say combiner connections for his arms and legs, and he falls apart. And then there you go. Their copy is ruined, you know? So I'm not going to lie. Part of the avoidance is I'm terrified that I would have loose legs or arms. They'd like fall apart, and that would be a big waste of money. So I don't know. I can tell you now, unless magic between now and Christmas, he's not going to be on my best list. He's not going to be on my worst list. He's not going to be on any list because I don't have it. Got my pre-rub Takara trailer. I don't know what pre-rub Takara trailer is, but okay. To put with the Missing Link Prime. Oh, I know what you're talking about now. You're talking about the trailer to go with, yes, okay, the G1 stuff. I didn't know what you were talking about. Hunted down the original G1 Gray trailer to go with it. Yeah, I got you now. I guess the reissue and the roller coming with the toy accurate. What? ML Prime is a blue roller painted silver. I don't know. I have no idea what it is. I reported on it and then I haven't looked at it since. So I don't know what color roller is in it. My roller growing up was blue. I always wanted him to be gray like on the TV show. I guess the new oversized KO of War for Cybertron Jetfire is out, and the paint quality is horrible chipped. Again, I didn't even know that existed. My Transformers must transform. That's kind of how I feel too, Jay. Like that's the thing I'm paying for to do, right? I get that it's a brand; they don't have to transform. There's no specific need for it because of the brand. But I do like when they transform, and I do feel like I miss something when they don't. I'll never understand why anyone who is an upscale or downscale version of an action figure scale is king. I guess. We Spirit or is also transparent. What? Waspinator is also transparent? What? I don't think so. I was looking at it. He didn't look transparent. Maybe he is, but he didn't look it to me. Imagine the Ghost Starscream yellowing. I don't think it will there. I got to get that Starscream and Shockwave, but if I see the SSBB Shockwave, I got to see for opinion. That's a lot of, I don't know what you're saying there, Blue. The Skyfire War for Cybertron KO was trying to compete with the Takara Jetfire Masterpiece. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I had a Shockwave reissue. Okay. Wow. I don't know what you're saying there, Sovereign. Something about Shockwave being short. He's a Voyager. He should be a Voyager. He's not that big. Like, you go back to G1, he's only a Voyager size. He's not big. He's the same size as, actually, he's a bit shorter than like Megatron and them. He's not that tall. Totally uninterested in that Nemesis Bridge pack. That's fair. That's fair. Not paying for a Megatron and Shockwave. I don't need just to get a version of Shockwave we should have got with the Netflix version. I guess, but like, just have the Siege Shockwave. Dude's fine. And you're right. And there's no guarantee it won't yellow again. Although I'd like to think with the paint on it that it won't yellow, or if it does, you'll never know it because it's painted. That's what I'd like to think. I don't know if it's true. Let's hope that pack doesn't discolor. Everyone's saying the same thing there. I also need to point out a joke on the Starscream should have came with Octane, Cyclonus, Scourge, Triptychon, run amok and run about as the Cybertron. Blue, get real. Feet won't yellow. The biceps will yellow. Yeah, it's garbage plastic. Yeah. Yeah, the biceps will. Like the hinge definitely will too. C, B. Man, gotta go up here. C, B. There was 4 lights. I thought there was 4 lights. D, D. Vok, Vok, D, D. Yeah, they become the Vok later on. Absolutely. The answer was D, the Vok. Better have Buzzsaw. Maybe better have Buzzsaw. As we go down here, I don't think we got Buzzsaw yet. No, maybe we didn't. Maybe you guys are right. Soundwave Scout Bot he has? He has a Scout Bot? First I've heard of it. Did Hasbro develop the Arc Transform? What? Did Hasbro develop the Arc Transformers toy? I mean, do you mean the Titan class Arc, Sean? Yeah, they did. It came out in 2020, 2021. I'm not sure what year. 86 Magnus is $90, but can it? Well, he's not $90. He's $135 here plus tax, so he'll be $150, right? That 120 that I said was not American. That was Canadian. That 120 was Canadian. Yeah, before Rub Symbol. I got you. I just didn't know what you're talking about. Hey, Input. Welcome back, buddy. Waspinator is supposed to be from when they flash back and forth between him and Starscream. I don't know where you got that from. I haven't read anything to allude to. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know where you got it from. Hey, Joseph. Walmart reissues in Toon Color. Cool, but I really wanted Soundwave to be a missing link. Why? Oh, for more articulation. I got you. The 3-pack with Netflix Soundwave will be redundant soon with the new leader mold. We are supposed to be. It's not. I heard it's not a new mold. I heard it's that mold with a bunch of parts and stuff because, you know, fans said that that's okay. That's acceptable as leader class now. Remember when all those times when I used to say, hold the company accountable, and everybody was like, GotBot, you're a complainer. Hot is definitely a Voyager. Who else do we have? Ironhide is definitely a Voyager. They're not. They're not. It's just now you've had so many that you've accepted for less that this is what they're going to try and pawn off as a leader. I hope it's a new. I hope, Joseph, it's a new one. I hope it's a new mold. I don't think so. I think Walmart is done with the exclusivity on this, and I think it's going to come out with this with some extra junk. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope it's something very interesting and very good. Time will tell. Maybe it's not even G1. Like maybe we'll be like, oh, that leader Soundwave was animated Soundwave, or I don't even know for sure if it's G1. We're just assuming a lot of stuff because they have not said. The designers didn't say that they were doing a new mold, I don't think. I haven't heard that. It's news to me. If you heard somebody say it, I'd like the source because I have not heard that, man. I was talking about the G1 Transformers used in their journey to Earth. Yes, the Titan. I don't know what you're talking about, Sean. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're asking me. Anyway, we're gonna do the unboxing and get it. Well, the pickup really. It's just a little pickup. It was very small. I'm sorry, Sean, that I couldn't answer your question because I don't know what you're asking. Are you asking did they do just a G1 arc like back in the 80s? Do you mean? No, they didn't. If that's not what you mean, then the only arc that they've done is they've done the little tiny one that I think comes with Unicron. They've done a movie one, and I think that worked with like the little Cyberverse Commander class ones, and they did a the Titan one, right, which is also the arc. And my pickup, I'm very happy to say, it's a lot of people aren't going to care about this, but I very much do. I cannot believe it came here. I'm very happy to say that I have Jawbreaker. I really, really like the Tyrants, and I really, really want a Jawbreaker. And I love the look of this guy. He is a nice looking little lad. Haven't transformed him or anything yet. I do, however, like that this piece here can come out of his arm and I guess be like his blaster. I think that's cool. It's only on one arm, but like I'm cool with it. I ain't got no problem with it. And he was affordable. Like he was cheap. It was like 20 bucks. I look at this. I'm like, yeah, that seems pretty good for 20 bucks. I'm okay. Hollow back here. Yeah, sure. But like the legs aren't, the arms really aren't, the body isn't. It's just the lower leg here, really. There's no ankle tilt, but I got a funny feeling he has all the rest of the articulation that I would want. Maybe not a waist. No waist, no ankle tilt. That's a bit of a bummer. But otherwise, he feels pretty good. And when I shake him, like nothing's moving. He's toleranced well. And that, my friends, is it for this week. Thank you for coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. I love you guys. And please don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day, you guys right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams, at the stop motion premieres, or right here inside the videos. Happy Thanksgiving.